Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. This is a Friday episode, which we don't always get during the season now that we do the postgame show with Jake and Joe after every Bengals game. We've got the Bengals Browns this weekend, and you'll see me and Jake together. We haven't been together for a win yet. Hopefully that changes this weekend as the Bengals try to get back on track, try to get to 3-4 with some easy opponents coming up. Not to look too far ahead, they got to string together some wins. Let's do that first. But while you're watching the show, we'll be giving away a couple of vintage light up Bengals signs, and the signs aren't vintage, the logo's vintage. First Star will be giving those away as they do every weekend in every game for the Bengals via Twitter at First Star Log or at Joe Goodberry, all the people that are part of the First Star Media YouTube channel. If you follow us all, you'll see that get retweeted. You'll see it, and come on to the show too. Come join us as we break down all things Bengals and Browns, or just sometimes just Bengals, right? In the post-game show, we don't try not to focus on that team up north. Today's episode is about the defense. We did a film review on the offense already. You may want to go back and check that out. There were about 15 plays we broke down. Not all good, not all bad. When you score 17 points, it's a mix of both. There are things to look forward to the future, some things that they probably need to scrap and move on from. But check that out from Tuesday if you haven't. If you're interested in the defensive film review, you're at the right spot. Today, we're going to look over something that the Bengals do about 10 to 15% of their snaps, depending on the game and the game plan and the opponents. And it's something that some people aren't aware of. The Bengals play a 3-4 defense. Let's check it out. Early in the game, and this is what I wanted to show. The Bengals in a 3-4 defense, which means B.J. Hill, Kris Jenkins is at the nose tackle. Sheldon Rankins are your 3 defensive linemen. Your 4 linebackers are Sam Hubbard, Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson, and Trey Hendrickson. Now, before we completely go on the 3-4 defense journey, some may call this a 5-2, and they would be fine with me. I'd have no problem if you said these are our 3 defensive tackles, but you would say Hendrickson and Hubbard are defensive linemen, and it really is just Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson as linebackers. And I'd say, fine, completely fine. Just like TJ Watt over here at this spot is really a pass rusher. He's really an edge rusher. He's not a true linebacker, right? Same thing applies. It's different in high school at times when you're going with a 3-4 or a 4-4, and those 4 guys are actually linebackers. In the NFL level, the only actual linebackers are the 2 inside guys. So if you wanted to call this a 5-2, feel free. I'm going to call it a 3-4 for more traditional purposes because I've explained that the Bengals play a 3-4 defense a ton in the previous years, and people have looked at me like I'm crazy. They do it, and they do it a lot. But if you want to call it a 5-2, feel free. Anyway, the important parts of where I want to go to are, first of all, the differences. Number 1, when you got a guy at nose tackle, the nose tackle is this guy. That was DJ Reader in past years. He can line up anywhere from 0 tech, which is directly above the center, right over his head, or 1 tech would be directly in between. Either way, this is the A gap between the center. Any side between the center is the A gap. B here, C here. Does that make sense for new people that haven't done this? A, B, C. Makes sense, right? Okay. So in an odd man front, which is what we'll call this, an odd man front would be 3 down linemen or 5 down linemen. However you want to do it, I'm going to call it a 3-4. But an odd man front means 3 of them. If we have an even front, that's a 4-3 defense or a 4-2 defense in your nickel or a 4-4 defense. That all changes how you play things, right? Because you've got a guy in here, we've got a guy in this gap, we've got a guy in this gap, we got a guy in this gap. You see how everyone has their gap? And then he outside of the tight ends over here until we're going to bring him tight end in motion, then probably bring other safety down. And as that gap, we don't worry about the back half right now. We're just worrying about the front half. In the odd man front, everyone's got their gap. And it changes from defense to defense, whether or not we want these guys head up with all of these. And then they're going to 2 gap. 2 gap would mean I'm going to go head up and I can go that way, or I can go that way. I'm going to lock them up. I'm going to search for the ball carrier, and I'm going to make a play that way. Does that all make sense? We got a 3-4 defense. Kris Jenkins Jr. is at the nose tackle spot. Now he's getting directly head up after that change. Did you see that? How everyone shifted over just a little bit? Now he's directly head up based on the two tight ends being on this side. So slightly different change for everyone there. I wanted to show how it originally was because that's how I think the Bengals wanted it to be. Instead, what do the Bengals do out of this? This is very important now because while they do 3-4 stuff, watch Sam Hubbard. He's going to back out. So who are you actually sending? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're actually only sending 4. So all of this attention over here, which is the idea, I'm going to show you all the Giants' attention. Look at these guys. Well, the tight ends are going for routes, so we're not really worried about them. But this right tackle's looking for Sam Hubbard. This running back over here is looking for Sam Hubbard. What you actually ended up doing, and this is why the Bengals are doing it, is creating one-on-one situations for all 4 of the rushers you did send, which is ideal. This is how you help your defense get in advantageous situations so they can start winning again, especially the important guy here is Trey Hendrickson. Get him one-on-one with Andrew Thomas, even though Andrew Thomas is fantastic. Honestly, he is so good. I know if you only watched him on that Sunday night game, you're probably not as convinced, but I'm telling you, dude is fantastic. It's a shame he's out for the year now with a Lisfranc foot injury. So let's let it play. Let's let it roll. And we have a completed slant over the middle. Next play. 3-4 defense again, right? This time, it's not Kris Jenkins Jr. in the middle. It's McKinnley Jackson in the middle. It's Kris Jenkins Jr. at this spot, and it's Sheldon Rankins at this spot. They're outside of the guard, so still at 3 tech on the inside because you have your 0, 1, 2, 3 tech. A 5 tech would be more with the tackle in a true 3-4 defense, but still, Bengals, you got your 3 down linemen, you got your 2 edge stand-up guys, and then you have your 2 linebackers in Pratt and Wilson. Let's let it play now and see how it goes. So this is they have a jet sweep action going on here. I want to watch it from the beginning and slow it down a little bit. Sorry, let me bring it back. So they've got extra blockers on this side, and they're going heavy. They're going to the strong side. And if you look how the Giants have it, I mean, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. The Bengals really only have 2 defenders. This should pick up big yardage and be a big gain. You do have the cutback opportunity for Logan Wilson to take this because, as you see, Von Bell's going that way. Logan Wilson will have this way. And then hopefully Kris Jenkins can make a play, or McKinnley Jackson can be fast enough on the backside and make this play. None of that really happens because there's so many blockers. This runner, I think it's Wendell Robinson, does a good job faking inside and then following his blockers that way. As who do we say Von Bell was supposed to go out that way, right? Instead, Von Bell cuts back in to go with the running back. Let's let it play, see if Von Bell can correct it. Not exactly. Tackle from behind, Logan Wilson. All right, back to a 3-4 defense again here. Kind of a play action. As soon as you see this running back running away from the play action, though, you immediately know it's a pass play. This is going to be a good opportunity for our defensive line if they can read that quickly, and we're going to have one guy read that pretty quickly. But Kris Jenkins Jr. is the nose tackle here. I want to point that out each time because replacing DJ Reader was always one of the big questions in the offseason, right? So here, the first chance we get, or the first one was Jenkins, then it was McKinnley Jackson, now it's Jenkins again. So the rookies right now are filling in there. During the early parts when we didn't have these guys, it was J2 Fele, a little bit of Lawrence Guy. So what do we get here? BJ Hill with the win. So let's isolate and focus on BJ Hill on this. BJ Hill, the man that came back. He looks really good. He's a free agent at the end of the year also. We're going to have to make a decision on BJ Hill. And as of right now, I don't know how you could afford to let him walk. Hill's going to read it and instantly get off that guard and make a play. Was it the guard or was it the tackle? I want to go back again because it's important. It is the tackle. So because the guard goes inside to help because we got play action, so we're kind of fake running this way. Everyone's leaning this way, which allows BJ Hill to go. I'm going to go that way on him. And Not the arrow I wanted, but it's a tackle trying to block BJ Hill, who should have more athleticism than our defensive tackle, but he does not. Jermaine Pratt with the pick. Hey, so far we've got a modest gain, a decent gain on a jet sweep. We've got a slant that worked, and then we've got an interception out of our 3-4 defense. Fourth play now. It's a little different. We've got Miles Murphy at this spot, Trey Hendrickson at this spot, Kris Jenkins, BJ Hill, Sheldon Rankins are our 5-man front, or 3-4. However you want to call it. Cool with me. And this is usually what the Bengals will go to defend the run. So if you're noticing on their side, like they've got 2 tight ends over here and a tight end over here, yeah, this is a heavy package for them to run the ball. But that's twice now that they have chosen to pass the ball here out of this. And I want you first to watch Kris Jenkins, and then we'll come back to the guy who makes the play here. So first is Kris Jenkins right in the middle. Watch him. Watch the stunt the Bengals have. Boom. Takes his man out. And yes, we've got a sack on the play. We get a sack out of this 3-4 defense. We got an interception and a sack out of it so far. So next, we're focusing on Trey Hendrickson on the right end spot. You get the tackle to kind of overextend and flip his hips that way. And then Hendrickson takes that against him and powers back inside. As Jones hits that back foot, tries to step up, Hendrickson flashes in front of him and takes him down. Nice play, rookie Kris Jenkins on the stunt. Didn't really affect the play, but I like to see it. And then next, Trey Hendrickson. Good job. Now, this is another way the Bengals get into their 3-4 defense. And I didn't clip all of these. They did this quite a few times, and they've always done this quite a few times, handful of times each game. I clipped one, I think at least, to show what they do. So, Kris Jenkins Jr. is in the nose, but they didn't start this way. From this angle, I couldn't get it any earlier. They start in a 4-man front. Kris Jenkins Jr. slides to nose. Sheldon Rankin slides over, and then this is Sam Hubbard here. Sam Hubbard goes from being the end out here, and he kicks inside and goes inside. And then Jermaine Pratt will walk down and be the outside linebacker on this spot. He'll be the edge rusher. So you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a 5-man front. Still not truly a 3-4 defense because the Bengals aren't even out there now with a 2-linebacker situation. It's like a 5-1, but they will walk up Jordan Battle into the situation and use him like a linebacker. So it's just a way for them to shift and get back into an odd man front when they want to be and get into a advantageous situation, or at least what they feel is. So we've got a run play here. Good job stuffing it up all together. Other than Sheldon Rankins, I would say, is the only one really dealing with issues if you focus on him right here. He's got Andrew Thomas, and once he gets blocked by Andrew Thomas, we've got Logan Wilson coming across this way. We've got Jordan Battle coming across this way, basically acting as the 2 linebackers. Jermaine Pratt's watching the option or the play fake on this side, and Joseph Osai is going to take on the pulling blocker here. Everything should be locked up, and this goes for a minimal gain. Everyone does their job. I think they got 2 out of that, 2 or 3. Okay, again here. Instead of Hendrickson, it's Osai on this side, and they are heavy. I think we've got a quarterback sneak. So this is their way to defend the 3rd and shorts, the 4th and shorts that the Giants were pretty successful on. It's really why the Giants stayed in the game, I think, on the defensive side for the Bengals, was because, it's hard. Even if they're 50-50 and you felt like it's been better than that in recent years, it's hard to stop a QB sneak lately. And especially if you don't have the nose tackle of DJ Reader anymore to really push this backwards and cause some penetration. Edge guys here are Murphy and Osai. Just wanted to point that out. Little bit of penetration there. I want to say this was another 4th down situation. We get penetration. I believe this is Rankins. So keep our eye on Sheldon Rankins here. I believe it's Rankins to start us off. No, that was Kris Jenkins, wasn't it? It was 90. Might have been Kris Jenkins. Get a little penetration there. Force the guy to bounce it outside. Yeah, it was 90. That was Jenkins. Let's watch it again with those eyes then. Jenkins, right here. Getting underneath. If you could get him to hold up a little bit stronger right there without actually getting, flattened inside, which is tough to do. But if you could hold up there a little bit longer and allow your other guys to get in and make a play, Jermaine Pratt looks like, Joseph Osai. But they end up getting the first down there. Some people said missed tackle by Osai. I mean, in my opinion, I think he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So again, this is a situation where they shifted in. But this time they shift the defense this way to shift into a 3-4 defense. And this is Trey Hendrickson right here, which is rare to see him so far inside. You almost never see him inside, right? He's always out and on the right side and rushing the passer around the arc. Trey Hendrickson is inside here. And then we walk Jermaine Pratt down in to be our fifth guy. And then we walk Jordan Battle, down to be the other linebacker. So we end up in a 3-4 defense, a 5-2 defense. And Battle's one linebacker, and Jermaine Pratt is the other outside edge guy, which I think Pratt's turned into a decent blitzer. And then there's Jordan Battle making the play against the run. So eyes on Jordan Battle, left side, 27 here. He's a little bit wild as he goes inside, runs right in the back of BJ Hill, but that may have kept him hidden from the polar, and he's able to make the tackle. So we'll take runs of 2-3 yards, even 4 yards. You're fine with that. Unless it is 3rd and 3, then we don't want to give up what we give up. Okay, same thing back again, and it looks like McKinnley Jackson is the nose tackle here, which I thought he flashed enough and had some fun days and fun snaps and fun. At least he's not. People have asked about McKinnley Jackson, so I will say this: it's too early to be sure of what he is, based off of 2 games, right? And coming back from the knee injury, but the flashes, which can be a lot of things. What are flashes in player evaluation? Flashes are, does he jump off the screen athletically? Does he jump off the screen knowing what's going on, like mentally? Even that could be literally jumping at the snap and having a great get off. And it's like, oh, this guy is not overwhelmed by what's going on around him. It could be locking a guy out, peeking, and making a play at the line of scrimmage, a routine tackle for a defensive tackle. But making those plays are big. It could be having burst through the line and giving the offensive lineman issues. He's like, oh, I'm struggling with your leverage or your strength or your hand usage or your speed and burst off the line. These are flashes. And they could just be random chaos creation plays, which he had one in this game where he misses the running back and the quarterback, right, on that exchange. You remember that, right? Those are flashes, positive flashes. If you're getting those in game 2, that is a positive thing because you weren't getting those from Zach Carter after game 10, after game 16, after game 32 in year 3. You weren't getting those from Zach Carter. So at the very least, we'll take the chaos plays. And that doesn't mean he's going to be great, but it means he should at least be Brandon Thompson. He should at least be Pat Sims, which are guys that played for a long time for the Bengals, unlike Carter that couldn't make it through year 3. So you want to be on the hopeful side with McKinnley Jackson and Kris Jenkins. You can be. At the very least, they look like they'll be able to contribute and help and make plays. Now, high end upside, we'll figure that out as we go on throughout the season. But at the very least, they don't look like busts. Same goes for Myles Murphy. Less flashes, I would say, per snap, but still a contributing player. We got to see that upside. We're still waiting to see that upside. All right, let me continue this. This is a quarterback sneak. Felt like it was a good time to break that down and talk about it. I believe they got it on this one or were very close, even though we have some Bengals calling for 4th down. Yes, it's very clear now who is out here in this one. It is not Sheldon Rankins on that one. It is Kris Jenkins, McKinnley Jackson as the nose, BJ Hill right here, Joseph Osai is the edge guy on the right side. We should talk about that. Osai really hasn't flashed a ton this year. On tape, at least looks like a contributing player. He is fighting through it. He looks slower and stiffer than he ever has. And that's not good because he was a smaller, more agile pass rusher. And I think he may have lost some of that with injuries and maybe gaining weight throughout the years. He's a full-grown man now. He was very young coming out. Now he is, 24, 25. But he's been the guy replacing Trey Hendrickson as when Trey needs a breather or when it's obvious run situations. We know Trey Hendrickson's not great against the run. They bring in Joseph Osai for that. So I wanted to take a second to point that out. And this might be the last play we had. They bring everyone in here. Everyone. And the Bengals bring everyone in too. You get the running back to slip. It's a good job all around. We'll take some time to look at everyone real quick. First, let's look at McKinnley Jackson at the nose spot because I saw him flash there at the end in the backfield. Let's see how he gets back in there. So McKinnley Jackson. Yeah, get right underneath that center and walk him back. This is what I said. You don't have the DJ reader. I didn't remember this happened. We don't have the DJ reader to push this straight backwards. Whoa, there's McKinnley Jackson doing exactly what I said we didn't have. That's good. These are flashes. That's what I'm talking about. And then he's back there, right? And probably gets held, maybe slip. Why does he just slip? Maybe it's the knee. You can still see he's wearing that brace. But it forces that running back, no doubt about it, forces that running back to go, okay, let me go horizontal, which you never want to do in a short yardage situation. So let's go back now. Let's watch Kris Jenkins Jr. He's got a funny stance there. He used to do that in Michigan a lot. Let's watch him, number 90. Let's see what he does here. And then I kind of want to see what Osai does on that side. All right, Jenkins has his guys fighting inside. They're really slanting hard, it looked like. Jenkins that way, Pratt that way, Osai that way. And then who's this? DJ Turner coming off the edge as well? I think it is. Which I should say also, we should focus on DJ Turner one of these weeks when we get to defensive reviews. I want to have a full cut-up of McKinnley Jackson. I want to do a full cut-up of Myles Murphy, full cut-up of DJ Turner, because these are young guys we need to be good. We should also have a conversation about Geno Stone eventually. So good job there. Again, I want to watch the edge here. I want to see what Osai did, why he was able to hold up. Did he just have Theo Johnson at the end spot? Looks like he did. Does a good job disengaging. You saw him get underneath, lock him out, disengage. Now you really got nowhere. This running back is trying to hopefully string out Osai this way and then maybe hit this back this way. But Von Bell's got good leverage point here. McKinnley Jackson's coming back this way. DJ Turner's cleaning this up, and Osai's winning right here. Very good team defense to finish this defensive review film of the 3-4 defense with a stop at the end there. So that was the defense and the 3-4 look, the 5-2, call it what you want. But the odd man front for the Bengals, they employ a lot when they're trying to stop the run, when they're trying to get big on the front, and to give their guys one-on-one opportunities. We got a lot of big plays out of that. Even if you get just one sack, one interception, and maybe one defensive stop in a game, that could be the difference in winning and losing. I think the defense had a great game plan. Giants aren't a great opponent, right? Offensively, not much to worry about, especially without Malik Neighbors. So you got to carry that over. And the Browns maybe have the worst offense in the league right now. So hopefully that carries over. The Browns defense is still legit, though. Don't be fooled by their record right now. The offense absolutely stinks. And largely losing Bill Callahan on the offensive line. I mean, their run game stinks, their O-line stinks, and that has affected all of their passing attack, out of play action or not. And it really depleted their offense. But on the defense, they're still pretty good. And they will still beat you, and they still have a lot of high-end talent players on that defense. So might be a struggle a little bit. It may be a 20-13 type game, but if that's what it takes to get the win, then that's what it takes. This has been Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. You'll see me again on Sunday in the post-game Jake and Joe show. Be there for the giveaway, be there for the talk, be there for the fun, or the venting. Whatever it requires, we're up for the challenge. Until next time, Hooday.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.